Good day, viewers. Good evening, depending on wherever you're watching from. This is BVI Channel 1, and we are on Matters Horizon. Today, we are going to be discussing something very important to Nigeria country. You know, Nigeria as a country has a very foundational problem, which we are not just going to be addressing by mere talking, but also engaging on the conference that is ongoing in Abuja today. There is a conference that is happening in Abuja where indigenous nationalities in Nigeria have gathered to discuss Nigeria, the foundational problem of Nigeria, which many of the people can understand that the structural arrangement of Nigeria as it is today is not working and can never work, especially with the so-called federal system of government under the democratic rule is a failure. And ultimately, when they call one Nigeria, with the current structures of Nigeria is a scam. That is my personal opinion. But today we're going to listen to some people, especially from the Southeast, who represents the Igbo nation in that conference happening. And many of you do not know that something like this is happening. So I'm bringing one of them live here to speak with us, answer important question. But before we go into that, I want to bring to you an extract of the opening remark by the leader of Igbo Nation delegation to that conference happening in Abuja today. I know the Nigerian news media are not focused on that, so we hope that we hope to bring you that video right now. The video of Professor, wait, hang on, let us bring you the, we're trying to get you the actual video that is speaking up. So he addressed the conference based on what Igbos are interested in the Nigerian system. So let us get to that immediately. I'm coming back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Igbo region is happy with this conference and wishes all of you well. This is not an Igbo presentation, but simply to assure you that the Igbo nation is not afraid of one Nigeria. We want one Nigeria. We have been working for one Nigeria. We are in the forefront of promoting one Nigeria. All we are asking for, let our year be year, so that we can know Nigerians are tired of poverty. Nigerians are tired of hunger in the midst of prosperity. Nigerians are tired of killing and fear. This conference has an opportunity to change course to ensure that we are not simply known by words, but also by deeds. So we wish you well. We totally agree. There should no more be concurrent powers or concurrent lists. We listened well to His Excellency Farumbi. let they be exclusive and residual from now on in Nigeria. And let this be a restructuring based on ethnic nationalities as proposed by Owolabi and Co., or groupings of consenting ethnic nationalities. The Igbo people, Igbo region, perfectly agrees with this mission. But we're also telling some friends, the Igbo region will make haste to tell some friends, particularly our Yoruba friends, we are telling them this today. History has a way. Our Yoruba friends who are in the forefront of promoting this restructuring objective, history has positioned you in the front. Take your lip and count your teeth so that you will find out that Nigerians will help you, particularly the Igbo nation, will help you realize a Nigeria that will be favorable to everybody. We will elaborate this in the Igbo presentation. Do not renege on this responsibility. You have everything it takes to change Nigeria for better. I'm addressing our good Omoluabi. You have everything it takes now. Don't renege on this responsibility. The Igbo nation has come here today because of the leadership of the CREN and the TRG, Dikun Owolabi. If we find, there are certain people we find in such a group, we will not be here. But with Dikun Owolabi, we've seen through Dikun, we've looked beyond Dikun, and we've seen the Yoruba nation. I will not talk more. But there is something I have to point out on matters of procedure so that it can help us. I'm rounding up. This young man is already at my back. I will speak as long as His Excellency Dr. Farumbi or His Excellency Igale, but I have to point out certain things because this is an intellectually driven change. Intellectually driven change.
All right. You've heard it. You've seen the position of the leader of Igbo delegation to that conference. Quickly, without wasting further of your time, let us bring you the one of the delegates who is participating in that very conference happening in Abuja as we speak, and other people who are joining me in this conversation. So we have Professor. We are glad to bring in Professor. We are glad to bring in Professor Abodike Ndubisi and Enugu and other dignitaries that will join us in this conversation. It's very important. We all, if you want to be part of the program, you want to make your contribution, you want to call, you can call +234 810 4545 533. Okay, so as to join in the conversation. +234 810 4545 533 is the number to call so that you will join in the discussion tonight. And we are talking about the structure of Nigeria. We are talking about the foundational problem of Nigeria. And as you are getting this video, do me a favor, by clicking on the share button. Whatever your opinions are, we are going to address them. You can simply also make use of, you cannot call, you can just simply drop your comment on the comment section, and we are going to bring your opinion to the public on this platform tonight. It's my pleasure to welcome all our discussants tonight. We have Henry is here, NDBC is here, and we also have Professor Chinedu Abodike. Prof, it's good to have you tonight on the program. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I can hardly hear you. Somebody called on this line. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm trying to hear you. Somebody tapped on my line, so I can hardly hear now. Somebody called. Okay. So just say what you want to say. I will listen.
Yeah. We are talking about your conference that you are part of in Abuja. What is actually happening? Our people want to know.
Yeah.
They said you guys are representing the Igbo interest in that conference. Tell us, what actually is the Igbo interest you are representing in that conference?
First of all, all the federating units in Nigeria, Ijo, Calabar, Kwara, all the states from all over, including Fulanis, Hausas, Yorubas, Igbos, they come together to profile a way how we can improve the country, how we can live together in harmony. So each place has to bring out what they want and what they really want to do and what they really need. We, the Igbos, we came out with conclusion that we will not have any part of Igbo-speaking area designated to another state, like we have it in Kogi, we have it in Edo, we have it in some areas in Akwa Ibom. All those areas, we brought up a map to show what we really need, all the Igbo-speaking area. That map alone is more than the former Eastern region, bigger comparatively. So that is what we know. Yoruba brought their own, and others brought their own, and we sat in panel and discussed very amicably, and we are using Nikon Luxury Hotel at Abuja. So, and that's the place, the big main hall. And so everybody is just stating exactly what he or she needs. What we Igbo say, and what we have said and what we are going to keep saying is that every federating unit should be listened to be autonomous, take care of whatever is in their territory, have their own police, and be able to have their own security so that the governing leaders there will be able to be in charge of security and not answerable to anybody. In other words, if there is a police station, the person to be the DPO or whatever will be, for example, an Igbo or an Hausa, according to their own geographical area. That is what we ask for, and that is our demand, and that's what we believe in. That's what we supported others to do, and we should be supported to have our own. And they keep on saying that we are landlocked. The map we have showed that we are not landlocked people. Our area extends up to the sea, Ndoni, and the other area, Pobo, and other places. This is the map we show to the people. That is the map. That is the map, and that is what we are advocating. If you look at it here, you see there is sea to the sea. We have our land to the sea and areas in those places. And that is what we have asked for, and that is what we have documents. We have documents to prove what we're doing. We are not taking another man's land, are we interested in another man's property? We are only interested in all the Igbo-speaking area. For example, Ohaneze Igbo is from Porakot, the president of Ohaneze, but nobody can now be contesting that Anyosha, which was the former name of Porakot, is not an Igbo area. So that is exactly what we are talking about. So we are here to make sure that we don't lose our right to our territories, to our nation, and also to make sure that we support others to get their own, so that independently we can start governing our areas Not that somebody from another place will start controlling what is in another place. This will reduce insecurity and reduce further killing of the people, and they also reduce further running away of our youths who can no longer get jobs because of the present system of government. I think that's what I can say summarily now. Thank you.
All right. All right. So what you're saying in essence is that the Igbo demanded through regionalism, through federalism. Is that what you're saying? That in Igbo, what Igbos want in that from Nigeria, according to your
linguistic system. Like you have it in Russia, you have it in USA, Germany for the Germany for the Germans, Poland for the Polish, English for the just as we had it in the former USSR, had it Yugoslav and Czechoslovakia and the others. As we have it there, we're not asking for anything different. We are saying that there has to be ethno-linguistic system of rulership. People should live according to those who can have allies with other bigger or smaller ethnic, it's okay. But those who have very large ethnic area can live together as a nation or as a region, and they can work together. That does not mean that you are pulling out of Nigeria. No. It means then that people should be, according to UN law, people should have the right to ask for their own ethnic, linguistic system where you are involved with those that speak the same language with you. That's how it is all over the world. Our own will not be different because we're Africans.
Of course.
And that's what we're trying to get, and that's what we're going to get. Anything less or more, we don't want. As I said, we are not going to take another man's territory, but everywhere where Igbo is spoken, Ikwere, and all these names we have. For example, it is not even Anambra, it is Omambra. It is not Enugu, it is Enugu. It is not Umuahia, it is Omahia. And all these names you have, for example, when you go to river, instead of Umokoro, they put it to Rumokoro. All these names were twisted to deny the Igbo speaking area. At the end, these people are born Igbo, and they speak Igbo. They have Igbo traditional clothes. They came. Some of us are with us. They came with Igbo traditional clothes. They have our market days. They have breaking a kola nut because I broke kola nut, brought all the things there, and we all shared it together according to the traditional law. So we can always live together. It's a very interesting thing when I brought those kola nuts, both Bitakola, both Edo, both Clay, or that is Nzu. And the rest of it was very interesting where all of us have to break the color according to our individual places we come from. Those who came from different areas, Ndoni, and so many areas from down that river state, so many areas. So we are speaking the same language, we are understanding one another. So why can't we live together? It's because geographically or whatever, they split these people and cut some of them to different states. Like Ebonyi State, Plateau State, there are more than 300 Igbo communities there. So all these people can be brought back to their own ancestry, to their own historic or ancestral homeland. That is what we're expecting, and that's what we're going to have. Anything less than this, we're not interested. Or anything more, we are not interested too. We just want things to be the way they are. Just as the Yorubas have their own, just as the Middle East, Middle Belt, and the rest of them have their own. They have different areas, and each one is having their own. So does Igbo man have his own, and will also support people to have their own. We're not asking for more. We're not asking for less. We are saying that the regions are. We have them. Many of them. We have North Central. We have Central Middle Belt. We have Western Middle Region. We have Eastern Middle Region. We have Igbo. We have Yoruba. We have so many of them. There are, I think, around 13 of them. So that is how we are. We are on our second day. We started yesterday. It's going to end on the 21st of this month. Then everybody can go back to his or her territory and submit our results, which we are going to sign together and submit our finding to the federal government for approval so that each state can now have their own, each region can now have their own territory. You know, formerly before in the 60s, we had 3 regions or whatever, dominantly east, west, north, and east, west, and north. Until then, they divided it into southwest and so on and so on. Until then, they split it into 36 states plus Abuja. Now, those things are not working. We have tried it. A lot of lives have been lost. A lot of people are complaining that they mix them with those whom they cannot understand their language. So I think it is ethno-linguistic system that we're using. That's what we're here for, and that's what we bargain for, and that's what we're going to get. Thank you.
All right, Prof, you've spoken extensively. Now it's time for us to verify some of your positions. I believe you can hear me properly, right? It seems are you struggling to hear me?
Yeah, I'm struggling to hear. That's why I'm putting it in my ears.
Okay, okay, maybe you don't have your earphone. All right, now let us get straight to the point. First of all, you made mention of other ethnic nationalities. I know people will ask one question: who constituted that body? One, so that at the end of the whole exercise, it will not be an academic exercise or people going on tourism in Abuja to have meetings for themselves and go back home. Who constituted that bodies, and at the end of your communique, who will or who is expected to act upon it? The National Assembly or the presidency? We are going to start from that. Then we'll start addressing some of the new regions you have mapped out on your conversation. About 13 of them. We have 6 now, but you've been able to carve out 13 of them. Well, you should be able to explain to Nigerians who definitely must belong to any of those ethnic nationalities, indigenous nationalities in Nigeria. So who is going to take responsibility in acting upon your would be communique? That's what you guys have come up with at the end of this program. Did you hear me? Hello, Prof. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I was asking you who will take responsibility in taking actions based on the communique you guys are going to come up with after this conference. Because we don't want it to be another
Our duty
exercise.
is to do the job and then submit to the federal government. We will submit to the federal government, and we expect them to take action as they promised us. That is what we believe.
So is the federal government that constituted the body? Or this conference?
No, I wouldn't say so, but they are aware of it because they sent a representative to come and speak to us today. So they are aware of it. I wouldn't be able to say what I don't know. What I know is that majorly the Yorubas are the one that constituted organizing of the program, the Yoruba nation.
Okay, the Yoruba nation. The Yoruba nation are the ones spearheading this conversation in Abuja.
Yeah, they are the one that's spearheading it. Yeah.
Okay.
But somebody from the Senate came to speak.
Yeah, the conversation is predominantly based around to restructure Nigeria back to regional government.
That's the major thing, to restructure Nigeria for better living together. So the system we have presently is not working. So there is need in reality to restructure it so that it will be human-centered. You understand that?
Yeah, is what I'm
as I told you, the way USSR was done, the way other nations, the way Britain, the way every other nation, they have ethno-linguistic system of governance. the ethnic system and the language they speak together, they all come together and form their own nation. That's no matter. Even our own little Igbo land is bigger than 23 African countries. And we're talking of population-wise, because what makes a nation? One, population, ability to govern themselves, and two, sustenance. Population of Igbo temporarily, now, globally, is 400 and something million. It's one of the biggest tribes. But if you now say other Igbos outside Igbos who have Igbo bloods, you are talking about 801 million people. So we have the numbers, we have the territory, we have the land, we have the sustenance in terms of mineral deposits, both solid and liquid mineral. So all the organs necessary for self reliance, for self sustenance, we have them. We have tabled all those things to them. All the documents they need, we sent it to them. And I have the documents here with me. And so we can say that we can. We're not talking of sovereignty. We're talking of regional autonomy. I hope you understand the difference. Now, we are having regional autonomy. So we can also divide our own. No longer Imo, Anambra, those state, those things can no longer decide to call them province. The most important thing is that the Igbo region has their own autonomy, the capacity to take care of what they have within themselves and govern themselves by themselves. Then the center will not be weak somehow, because this is what we had and this is what we suggested. I wouldn't want to say something that will provoke some listeners, but that's what was suggested at Aburi Accord. And that is what caused the misunderstanding that caused the war. What the Hausa region said today, that their eyes have opened. The Fulanis came and said they want to team up with the Hausas, and so on and so forth. Everybody really is saying his own, her own mind, and nobody is, we took an oath of making sure that we are civic and we don't abuse anybody or try to be contentious or try anything that will result to riot, because we took an oath before we started.
Who administered that oath? Sorry, what kind of oath?
We had a lot of judges and a lot of people. There are so many of them. I wouldn't remember who, but one of the Yorubas, they came prepared. The Yorubas came prepared. They are the one that organized it.
I wanted to find
prepared.
out.
So
I wanted to
their own
find out.
presentation, they didn't have much problem because
No,
there are really no problem in the southwest. They don't split that place into units, but it's in the southeast that there are problems, like the river region, the Ogoni and the Calabar and the rest of them. They have that conflict of boundary because of cutting some other place into the other place, the way the states have been divided. If you look, as I told you, if you go to Plateau State alone, you have more than 300 Igbo-speaking areas, and so on. If you go to Ife, there is a community that speak Igbo in Ife, and go to Ondo, you will find them there. So such places, I wouldn't know how to handle such areas, but the people should be recognized according to the ethnicity and language they speak. It's acceptable by the United Nations. It's acceptable by any rational thinking person, because that language barrier makes us to be suspicious of one another.
Okay, you've made mention of that. We don't want to repeat ourselves so that we can be very fast because of time. Now, you've talked about all of these things. People would like to know that this is not just an exercise in futility and wasting of everybody's time and resources. You've made mention that actually it is the Yoruba bodies, that's NGOs came together, or in different indigenous nationalities based on organizations, because there are different organizations in different areas or in different regions who came together to say, okay, this is the position of our people. Somebody asked from the comment section, the person by name Chuku, sorry if I'm not, if I'm making a mess of your name, Chuku Erieola.
Shinedu Abodike, Shinedu Abodike, Shinedu Abodike.
No, I'm not talking about your
Shinedu
name.
Abodike, yeah, that's my name.
Hang on, I'm not talking about your name. I'm talking about somebody that is asking you a question. By name
Oh, okay, sorry.
Chuku Erehoha, whatever the name is, please, you know yourself. He said, Professor, does it mean, or do you, but Professor, do it mean you have consulted and had agreement with other Igbos before this presentation, or the position of Ndibo to the conference? So how widely have you
Now, the big
consulted
question is this.
your
Does that mean
delegation?
that the Yoruba people and other tribes that came consulted to know there is a problem in Nigeria before they came? We were invited, the Igbos were invited, and they selected their professors. We are 30, 25 were able to make it. And it cost a hell of money to be able to make this sacrifice, to stay in a hotel, to book the flight, to bring peace. Do I need to consult anybody for peace? Did the other tribe consult anybody for peace? You know why I'm answering you? When it comes to Igbo question, there will be a battle. But the Yorubas went home happily, the Hausas went home happily, the people went home happily. All other 19 different places, a minimum of 9 different regions, went home happily. They were happy and their people are very happy. Will I stand here and be answering somebody's letter, what has cost us millions of naira to make sure that the killing and the marginalization will stop? Do I need to be consulting anyone for us to make peace in the country, to make peace in Igbo land, for you to have what it means to be alive so that you stop running away from Nigeria, going abroad to go and become a slave? Do I need to consult
All right,
anyone? Or if I
all right,
consult, I
Prof.
will tell the person that I consulted. What is the need
Uh,
for that?
all
I
right,
have to
all right,
answer that question the way you ask it,
all right,
because tell me, let me tell you. The Igbo
Prof.
question
Can you
is
listen?
that as at now, there is no peace in this country. And
Can
when
you
people
listen,
are
Prof?
selected, you don't need to go and tell
Can't hear
everybody in
me.
Igbo land. It will take you years before you can run that. What is
Hello,
more
Prof.
important? That
Hello,
what we are
Prof. Can
capable
you
of doing, go and get it done. And we are
can
capable
you
of bringing solution to this thing that
hello
is happening in
hello
Igbo land.
hello,
Stop
Prof.
there.
Prof. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sometimes you look at me so that you know when I am talking to you, since you are not actually hearing me audibly. Okay. What we are saying, like for the person that asked the question, I have the similar question myself. When you talk about the Igbos and also bringing, definitely the Igbos transcend beyond the current geographical description of Nigeria by six region and by specifically southeast. Ndi Igbo are in different regions of Nigeria. And from what you've said, you have insisted that the position you people have taken is that all Igbo speaking communities must be brought under one region in the new restructuring. That is your position. And you've made mention of the Ikweres and other riverine areas of Igbo land, as it were. And there had been a back and forth battle and disagreement even by some of the Ikweres and some of the riverine areas. Have they, just like you pointed out that Ohaneze Ndigbo President General is from Ikwere, fine and good, we understand that. When somebody is asking the question, have other part of Igbo land agreed to be part of one Igbo region? That is what, so that we will not go back to this problem
Every
in
part
the near
of
future.
Ibe, the parents are here, all of them brought their representative. The Ohaneze Ndigbo wrote us a memo and sent 2 of his representatives. People came from different states, came from even those from Ondo, those from Kogi area. They're all here with us. Everyone sent their own representative. Because that is what it takes, and that's what made it become universal for all Igbo speaking. The Ikpere man, if you want me to call him, I call him, is here with the same hotel with me. The man from Indokin is here. The man different, I can't mention all the, I don't know all of them offhand. They're all here with us. They send their representatives, their leaders. And Ohanes, the president, wrote us a memo and sent 2 of his representatives. We read the letter he wrote to the organizers on the podium. We read it to them to show that Ohanese is backing what is going on. Ohanese and Igbo is from Ikwere, and the Ikwere people sent 2 representatives. The Ndoni people send their representatives. All others, I cannot remember, send their representatives. They're all here. Because when you saw the word consulting, I didn't do any consultation. I was invited. I am not the leader, but I was invited as one of the people that knows, because I wrote a lot of books. And in my books, one of my books, there are 62 books anyway, published books. In one of them, I explained all other places where the Igbo speaking area are outside the 5 speaking Igbo states. So that book, it become a handout for us to use to go and meet them. And they are all here with me in the same hotel with me. So if I don't know, I don't understand how else I will explain it. That every of those tribes, every of those clans outside 5 Igbo states, they're all here, all of them.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, and perhaps before the end of this conference, we'll have the opportunity of having different nationalities represented on this program so that we can ask them questions one after the other as we continue in this.
Feel free, I can talk to them.
All right. Now, going forward, you made mention of a lot of things, but at this point, let us bring in other discussants like Indubisi and Enugu, who is also here, to make his own, if there is anything he wants to add to what we are saying so far, he will be able to bring it forward. And also we have other analysts of BVI Channel 1 analysts and GGM analysts who are here. Henry is here, and Ndubisi is also here. So they can unmute themselves and join the conversation as we progress in this program. Then those who are watching, if you want to join in the conversation, you want to make call, you can call the number +2348104545533. Then we can take your calls on WhatsApp actually. Then you can also drop your comment on the comment section so that we all can join in this conversation. All right. So Ndubisi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening, Prof.
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Chinedu, should I speak?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Ndubisi, have the floor. You can speak. Talk to us.
All right. Good evening to our viewers all over the world, and good evening to our dear Igbo delegate, Professor Chinedu Abodike in Abuja. You know, it's not easy. You are there for our people, Igbo nation. And you are there because we believe in you, because we trust you. We believe on what you've done over the years. You have been a dogged fighter. You have been down the trenches fighting for our dear people. I'm able to queer Igbo because some of our followers are now confused when the issue of restructuring comes up. Emma, the whole thing is all political interest. Abroad today, right down from 1914 to 1922, 1929 to 1957 or 53, 57, 1960 Constitutional Conference. Because Emma, any na-ese okwu n'obodo okwanụ ụzọ esi achị ọchịchị, ụzọ esi eke resources, kedu onye ga-eke ya, kedu onye a ga-enye, kedu ndị ga-enwetanụ. Ọkwado ihe na-ese okwu ego, etu anyị esi wee eke resources, kedu onye nwe resources, who own the resources, who is in charge of it, who is to give license, oil license to a company like Indogisi and group of companies. Who will give gold? Enwe gold na zone of them na Enugu Ukwu. Federal government has saying, but boss when that gold because all mineral resources it belongs to an unknown man in Abuja. So why don't this thing there so? So in 1960, Britain transfer governance power, political power to Nigeria. Then 1963, Bible Republican Constitution, Bible Republican Constitution. Enye Nigeria. Ife ndị ọcha handle anyị over that time bụ 4 regions or 3 regions. Say Northern Nigeria, Southwest, and Eastern Nigeria. Later, where Midwest, with Midwest region. And as at that time, Hana controlled their resources. Eastern Nigeria was the fastest growing economy. As at that time, or some said the whole of Africa, some said the whole of West Africa, under MI Obara. And when government structure, political structure, I may use at that time. So on them, but I know we truncate that structure, Britain handle over. And I from Aguirre to down to Gowan, ndị Hausa na ndị Fulani ewerezie power with the Yorubas weziere ya na ekezi resources ndị ga-enweta oil licenses ọkwa ya dịgide welukwe today. So why I want to say this thing so that our people they follow all over the world who understand the problem in Nigeria because it's good for us to understand. It's good for us to understand the issue. The problem is only when you understand the problem you will how to solve it. But upon all these conferences, and Obasanjo be said up a Messia or their board. Jonathan Abiokwa Messia and Kiana second tenor power, a Messia or damn. Then this group kita Professor Abodike Fadobo, Abro government said they're up. Like Chinedu said, or NGO, non-governmental organization. So and what the power to enforce whatever decision arrive at. Their own is just let the conversation start and it's an ongoing. All the way me personally I see it. Because Abasa 5 days, a package politicians. Obu no meet the interest of politicians. He will hear to an dustbin. Time on we go in ways in Abuja and so it's good Nandebai why this conversation is necessary. The strong point of this conversation and the expectation, what we're expecting from the conference. Now, to me, before just a simple question, to me, let the conversation start and let it continue. BVI Channel 1 with Good Governance Ministry will be part of it. We will assist to broadcast and escalate whatever message that will come out of or whatever. Our message has always remained regional government, autonomous regional government, as we have in 1963. We will continue broadcasting it, sensitizing and educating our people. So it is our belief that the groups need be together. It was a package here. Now I want the blessing of APC government, Tinubu, because Tinubu has the power now. Keta no kaburo ke 2027 election. Or Keta, or can APC come power now to return the Nigerian constitution from the present fraudulent, I call it fraudulent constitution, because this constitution is fraudulent. It's imposed on the people by the soldiers. Even though the Arsenal organize politicians under gunpoint and your constitution. So APC under Tinubu when that power to return our political system back to 1963 parliamentary system, regional government, maybe with modifications, and this group need discuss. He has the power to do it, just like 2 days or 3 days. He returned the Nigerian national anthem to the one and 1963. It didn't take him anything to do that. It will not again take him anything to say that this present system is not working. The center is too powerful. Let him be the last man that will enjoy the unlimited power of the president of Nigeria. Let him be the last person that will enjoy it and return the power to the region. Guide and region, Jezian work. Now, to Professor Chinedu Abodika, I believed in the names I've seen there, starting from Professor Obasigwe and the Ambassador Uche Ajuchuku Keke with Barrister Emeka Emekesri. These names are or have been there for decades fighting for Igbo interest. So, members of the committee did wonderful job by picking or selecting this galaxy of representatives for Igbo nation. So the question to Abodike is this. Anyway, I overheard you saying that we will not leave any part of Igbo land. Olu mgbe a ga-anọgide ọgụ like some part of rivers or some part of Benue. Ndị Igbo nọ there asị na ha achọrọ ịnọ na ha dị comfortable there. Ndị Igbo would they force them? Can you see arrive at conclusion? Would you force them?
I'm not saying this out of my own violation. I'm saying this out of having met them, having discussed with them. Remember, I have traveled extensively from 2008 up to now. There is no part of the eastern region I have not gone. There is no community I have not entered. You know that yourself. So we spoke to them, we sounded their hearts, and they are yearning to return to where they are accepted as Igbos. They are yearning for that. You will be shocked that Igbos in Ivory Coast, Igbos in Veranda Point, they are yearning to return to their motherland. Nobody. Even Igbos in overseas, they don't like it. I stayed overseas myself. Home is home. These people are not, we're not enforcing them. Remember what I said. Any group that feels they can combine, team up with the other ones, has the right to do that. That's what we said. But these people said they want to return because they are being marginalized. They are not being, no development where they are. They will prefer their own brothers, born, speak the same language, eat the same food, wear the same clothes. You can interview them tomorrow. If you like, the other stations I want to interview some of them. I can organize 4, 5, 6, 8 of them from different areas, and they can tell you categorically that they want to return to. If there is going to be an Igbo region, they must be included. Some of them even came to beg us. Those from Plateau State came to beg.
What we're saying in it,
Aguleri.
Prof.
They came to Aguleri,
big masquerade like Wikes in Obro. How would you handle that?
Wike's mate is here. Wike and mate is here. If it's not important, when one person says he's not an Igbo, if you go to Yoruba land, they have the same similar case. If you go to Hausa, they have the similar case. If you go to Yugoslavia, if you go to Croatia, they have similar case. But the majority, we win. When we come there, living like today, we did a lot of votings. Majority must win. Those who want to say yeah, they say nah, they just sign it. There are some Igbo, even in Anambra State, who don't want to be called Igbo. I hope you know that. But the most important is the majority must carry the vote, but the minority must be heard.
Okay, I got your point, Prof. Thank you.
All right, Prof. Right about now, let us go quickly to some of the commentaries. Maybe subsequently, we should be able to be bringing some of the commentaries on the YouTube for you to be seeing right here on the feed. But those of you who are watching from wherever you're watching from, we appreciate you, and you help us to escalate this, because we are going to still come back here perhaps on Thursday or on Friday I don't know. I think it's gonna be ending on the program should be ending on Saturday this weekend. If it is so, we will
21st.
like the 21st of this month. Okay, that's when it's going to end. Okay, we'll probably want to have a conversation with you if you prefer by tomorrow. I mean, if you prefer, because we want it to be at the time where um you have concluded, so that we know what exactly you guys have come up with by the time we come back here. And also we hope to have other ethnic nationalities represented in that program live on this program too, so that we'll be able to all have this conversation with them together. So perhaps we're going to have this program again on Friday, the same time. If it is okay by you, you'd let us know, so that we'll tell our audience to stay put, so that see this thing that you people are cooking in Abuja, what it tastes like, what it came out like at the end of the day.
Okay.
So
Thursday could be okay because Friday and Anazana.
okay, if
Some
that
may
is it.
leave before Friday. Some may leave before then.
On
Let's
Wednesday,
Thursday.
I went on a hotel.
Thursday is okay. And
Wednesday is tomorrow. We can't have it tomorrow. We will be
Wednesday or Thursday,
discussing it
but let me tell you how our time runs. Let me tell you how our time runs. Like now, we're in a meeting. I just took permission to be here. When we leave here, we start our meeting at the conference by 9 o'clock. We close around 5. We drive down here. We take our night meal, and then we rest for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Then we go back to another meeting. I have not slept since yesterday. I have not closed my eyes since 2 days now. I have not even lied on the bed. If I finish now, I'll go and continue the meeting. That meeting may end around 4 or 5. I'll go and take my bath, and then I prepare and go back to this thing. So we are not. I need to give you our timetable that will suit you. Maybe between that 5 and 7, we should hold that meeting. They're in the same hotel with me, most of them. 2 or 3 of them, we can hold a meeting so that
on
we'll be able
Friday.
to speak to them. I know the Thursday or Friday. I don't know which one is comfortable for you. Whichever.
Okay, if it, I will prefer on morning of Friday morning. At that time, you guys are done with whatever. Because
Morning
I
on
don't
Friday
know.
should be before 8:30, because we must leave here by 8:45 to drive to the place.
After the conference, after you guys have finished the conference, will you go back to your hotel on Friday, so that by that Friday we should be able to have you guys back together before you now depart to your various destinations? Then we'll have the conversation. If that is not possible, we'll look for a more convenient day before that Friday.
Let's have it on
What I told you
Thursday, 5 to 7, according to Prof, so that I conclude on this meeting.
5 to what time?
5 to 7
so that some
on
of them will
Thursday.
not go.
Even we
So
don't
that
need all
some
of
of them,
them.
if you say
We don't
Friday,
need.
some of them may.
What we need is just one person from different places. We don't need every one of them to be here on the program. If we have one person,
I'll bring 3 of them from different Igbo speaking area in the riverine areas.
What about other ethnic nationalities?
I'll go
That's
for a
from
meeting
the.
now. Tell them so
What
that they will join
about
me on Thursday, right?
what about different ethnic nationalities apart from Southeast? Want to hear the position of the Yorubas, want to hear the position of the Arewas, want to hear the position of other ethnic nationalities apart from the Igbos.
We can send you a live recorded video on that. Because I cannot guarantee you them coming to.
All right, Echilenu, let's continue because this place is not okay to discuss. Harry, maybe
No,
Harry
we are having this conversation is an open conversation. So what if we're just trying to make sure that now whatever information we are discussing here is what has been agreed upon by other nationalities. You want to go?
No, they have their timetable, Chinedu. It might be there. You can send us video clips so that you use it to.
Anyway, that is by the way.
Their timetable to timetable.
Henry, you can come up because you've not spoken since I began this program.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Henry, are you still there? Edishon and Henry cannot there. All right, let us proceed. Prof, thank you so much for your time anyway. I will appreciate all your effort. So far, so good.
Thank you.
Okay. You guys are doing a very wonderful work there. But difficulty is the enforcement, because some people have already highlighted from the comment section who said that in 2014, Jonathan did that. I think from God Shanda said President Goodluck tried it in 2014, but the Fulani said no. The Fulani is even represented in this conversation. Anyway, Fulanis are not indigenous in Nigeria, so they should not be even invited. If you ask some people, including myself, I would say don't invite them. They are not indigenous in Nigeria. So, well, that is by the way, Sha. So we have a lot of people who have made their contribution. So 9487 said that the centralization of economic, political, and security system is the solution to Nigeria's problem. It's also solved the issue of tribalism because everything is local. Federal government becomes less relevant. That is from So 9487. Thank you very much. All right. He also went further to say that trying to fight terrorism from Abuja is impossible. Decentralize the country down to local level and let the federal government rely on the state instead of the other way around. I think he made a very valid point there. That those that claiming to own Nigeria will never allow this to. But those we know those we are talking about. But you've made mention of the Prof. This question goes to you. You've made mention of the Yorubas and their participation, the people of the South, East, South, West, and the South, and some part of North Central. What about the Northeast and the Northwest? Are they involved in this conversation? Very quickly, please. Prof, are you there?
Hello.
Okay, Henry is back.
Hello.
Henry Kachalogodu, I want to deal with Prof first. We waited for you, but you are not there at the time. Come join Prof this ajojo. Mawu no kano eh? Is Prof still there? Are you still there, Prof? Prof Diko, excuse you long way. Henry, you have been hearing what you are saying so far. What's your own contribution?
Okay, good evening, viewers. Thanks for having me. Commissioner and individual pleasure to always coalesce behind Igbo interests any day, anytime, 24/7. So for me, by all means, this recent conference of ethnic nationalities is, from every indication, a welcome development, despite the fact that similar arrangements were done before by so-called politicians, unquote, because one could see that there was never a genuine intention behind those convocations by politicians. So that this one is happening among the autonomous peoples or different tribes of Nigeria is a welcome development. The thing is, for me, it's good to judge than to war. And for the fact that we are together now talking, it's only when you can come together that you can talk and discuss the various contradictions that has continued to dog and militate against the progress and the foundational problems of this country. So for me, it's a welcome development. But I actually have some posers for Professor Chinedu, even though he's not on the line, because I want to know that what are the terms of reference for this conference before they ever go there to present and discuss for the Igbo. They were able to move beyond the around to the different regions that constitute the present Igbo to collect impulse and opinion in order to know what we're actually presenting, or it's just some few people selected themselves to go and start speaking for everybody, because that was one of the major reasons we keep having with some of our brothers in the Niger Delta region. So I want to also let him to speak to us concerning the presentation we're making here. What are the new constituent regions that will make up the new Igbo? Because recently, you notice that one major problem with this Igbo emancipation, it seems that all of us are firing from one cylinder. So we need to sit down as a people, as a together, to articulate what we want. Do you understand? Because one of which is what I think that we should do first, which is Igbo without border. Professor Chinedu has spoken well concerning all the all the indigenous people, and truly there are uncontested. You can't even contest. Every evidence has terminated the argument against all these things. There are Igbos that are indigenous in 13 states of Nigeria, including some parts of Benue and Kogi. So the new angle of Plateau State is still what Prof will still explain to us. But I think that for us as a people, ever before we ever think of presenting outside, we should first of all unite within ourselves so that we can even identify who is an Igbo. It's only when we have done this by getting our ass right, the Ikwere man will not have any reason to identify with Igbo, because he was part and parcel of the whole discussion from ground zero to at the point where they can now freely stand up and say, yes, I'm a proud Igbo person. So these are the issues. The other thing I want to touch and also highlight, because sometimes I got some people here saying that the Igbo nation is landlocked. The Igbo nation is not landlocked. We should know this, and we should repudiate this assertion wherever we find ourselves. If not for the lazy and intellectual sterility we have in the country, there's nobody that can come and say that Igbo land is landlocked, because if I don't know if you are aware that the region in Nigeria that has the least distance to the Atlantic Ocean is this Ihiala or Sakwa River here, 18 nautical miles. So you can't have such water bodies and say that the Igbo land is landlocked. There are a lot of tributaries. If you go to Azumili Deep River in Imo State, it's around 25 nautical miles from Atlantic Ocean, whereas River State is 35. With the current on air and the rest of Calabar is around 30 something. River, the same 30. So Lagos is even like over 45 nautical miles. They have to dredge all these things for things to start landing. But our own inland water in Igbo land here is 18 nautical miles. So we need to absent this wide and blind assertion that our region is landlocked. So in conclusion, I think that this conference is a welcome development, and what we need to do as a people is to, after whatever is the outcome of this conference and our position paper, we should highlight it, then constitute a more serious body of profession that will refine it, develop it as an Igbo agenda with a timeline, then try and scale it and identify with all they're gonna call enablers. When you talk about the advocacy group like us, that Igbo-centric, that speaks for the Igbo on one hand, and Igbo social-cultural organization like Ohaneze, and you now begin to take it to other Igbo associations so that we can document and adopt it as an Igbo agenda, and upon which we can now go and say, and go and meet our people, all our legislators, all our leaders. This is the position trust of the Igbo. Act around this, despite your political bias and interest. And if we're able to do it this way, look at it, look at the benefits. One, whether a politician, because we know there are some what we call willy characters and quislings who The only thing that nothing is inhabitual but indecision when it comes to Igbo agenda. We know some of them that are sold out already. They want to be more Nigerian than Nigeria. But if you're able to articulate a position paper and say, this is, we are the indigenous people of the 13 states in Nigeria. This is what we want as a political position towards betterment of Nigeria. Not that we are demanding territorial sovereignty. We want the country to work internally so that Igbo people will have opportunity to exercise their God-given talent. This is what we want. Please work towards this. This is what we expect you to be articulating when you are speaking with federal government. I think this will go a long way to really give us that line of sight to now begin to seek for real emancipation of Igbo land in terms of what we are getting from the federal, the restructuring that must happen, because I can tell us that right now Nigeria is in a state of war without anyone declaring it. And this war, unseen war, is like NDBC said, is what is behind is sharing of resources and how people is able to get their gettings from the national purse. And you find out that if we cannot continue with the way we are going, because what we are seeing now is brickmanship. Any tribe that comes in, they dominate the whole system against the other. You see how Tinubu has reduced the bar in governance. Is this a Yoruba? We have a less than more than 250 ethnic groups, but the man is busy Yorubanizing anything that is there to Yorubanize. Virtually everything has been taken over the Yorubas. So the country is lacking a national unity that is much needed to really unlock the latent development of this country. So what I'm saying in essence is that we should support this conference that's going on. The idea that it should be like the others should not be what we'll be thinking now. The only thing is that let us collide this thing. We have a conference under Jonathan, which was not action. Let's have this one and adopt it. Maybe we can be able to, when we now get another body, we can now look at the two outings, the first conferences and the second one, look at it together, harmonize it, adopt it, go and present it, and domesticate it as an Igbo agenda. That is the only way. We will now build it into a template where anybody, Igbo man that is speaking, despite your political affiliation, you know that this is the ultimate and end goal. Let me stop here so the others will contribute. Thank you for having me. Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Henry. Thank you.
Henry.
You spoke well.
Much for that. You've spoken very, very well. We appreciate you, and we hope that when next we converge on this program based on this issue that has been tabled, then we'll ask more questions and get more answers. NDBC, at this point, we've spoken for like an hour. When you could base on your conclusion on concluding on this program, so that we can end today's conversation and reconvene tomorrow. We are going to be live again tomorrow, perhaps in the morning, so that we'll be able to talk about our GGM, which is very important. I don't know, in the morning is more preferable for me to be doing live, especially around here in Europe. But I don't know if it is viable for people who will be listening, but we'll try. And NDBC, what's your take?
All right, thank you, Chinedu, and thank you, my dear brother Henry. Emma, the truth, Bona, ihe a na-eme today na conference is something most of us ma, and most of us mal the problem with Nigeria, mal the solution. So, some people, even Henry said it, whether these people representing us whether they've gone around to seek the opinion of Igbo people. You go mal the consensus or mal ndị be anyị chọrọ ka ha eji aka fasalete onwefagabadị Henry kwuru ya. But go for in the quality of people that represent Igbo nation, you need not ask that question because these guys have been there in the trenches fighting for Igbo interest. Onye ọbụla lụgo above 30 years kwesịrị ịmara ihe ndị Igbo chọrọ. Enwere ihe ndị Igbo chọrọ na-abụrụ a just and equitable system as practiced elsewhere. Ị ghara ebido fọm ọkwa enoten. In Switzerland, US, United Kingdom, Brazil, kedufa, Mexico, India, even India here, India with population size of over 1 billion people. These guys, they have a working system. Chinedu nọ na Spain, Barcelona, Catalonia, where their own economy is a regional economy. I think last 4 years or 5 years or thereabouts, they wanted to opt out of Spain. They conducted referendum. They have regional government like Soludo, LSOT, Mbani Enugu, the 5 governors of southeastern Nigeria coming together to say we want to be out of Nigeria. You must have that political control. And that political control is what Catalonians have. All their political leaders wanted Catalonia to be out of Spain. And they did referendum and they got about 95 to 98%. Yeah. The only reason why they didn't succeed is they want one superpower backing them up. Because some of them were just a superpower like US backing them up. How can I go borrow a country of their own? Today, you can want Catalonia as a country, different from Spain. So it's good, like Chinedu, can use all this platform na kọwara ndị be anyị because ndị be anyị aghọtara they don't even understand that you must have political power. After everything niile a na-eme na conference na Abuja kịta ọkwa ịnụ ka Prọfesọ Chinedu Agbodike kwuru ya they will submit it to Tinubu, APC, and they will submit the other one to National Assembly. Each region, Igbo region, Ijaw region, Yoruba region, and other regions, in about, I think their proposal about 13 regions. They are proposing from 9 to 15 regions. So all the delegates are there discuss, so, and every one of them are there with their map. What is the terms of reference? They already have the terms of reference, and our Igbo nation, they have Igbo position. I think I published it last a few days ago in BVI Channel 1 website. Igbo position. I've gone through it, I've read it. It is what we Igbos are asking, what we want. So at this point, every one of us, Obolo like GGM, BVI, on this platform, na akọwalụ ndị be anyị nsogbu enwe. The reason why no ebe a anụ n'ọchịchị like a local government obuwe ego nke agụụ karị because our economic system substructure is not working. Enwere gasị na political structure na determine the economic structure. Yes, once the political structure, which is the superstructure, is wrong, the economic structure will never be wrong. In an interest rate in a bank, above 20%, and I say, why is it high? It has to be high because the security is not guaranteed. It has to be high because the operational environment is toxic. The risk level is high, very high. That if we not suspect, yeah. So the money market or monetary monetary system cannot exist or survive in isolation, cannot survive independent of the political system. All political systems need to determine the economic system. So these are the simple explanation. I get you one n'Igbo kwenemi isikwe n'oyibo wee na-akụkwala ndị be anyị. That is why this discussion is important. Mana ha discuss ya ha ebuli ejekwuru ndị National Assembly, buli egakwu ndị gọvanọ, buli egakwu ndị president. So ọkwa ndị politicians decide whether they will implement their decision or not. But if their decision is taken to the people or people's movement, like GGM and Ewulia Bar Market, the people on the street are got this is the only way how they see wanted salvation or liberation. This is the only way they will secure their political and economic freedom. If they can only understand that, Emazia na onye ọbụla na-azụ election, these are about templates. If you cannot implement this, you will not be voted in. Ọ bụrụ ihe anyị ji wee ọgbụgba ndụ between onye ọbụla chọrọ ịba na political office and the people. That way, onye ọbụla na-aba n'ọchịchị ọ mara ihe ọ na-ene anya. Because as it is now, I want to assure you that let me be conservative. 70% of our people are restructuring or whatever, or regional government. You can go to school and ask them that question. They don't even understand why this Nigeria is having problem, why we're having crisis the way it is. So I think the discussion should continue and it should be sustained by all of us. Oburo one final bus stop. So this conference is encouraged, will be encouraged, and it should be encouraged. And we must support it because if we don't, politicians cannot change anything. They're already in the dining table enjoying themselves. I do not expect them to advocate for a better system because the system is favoring all of them. They want all of us to be slaves so that the 20,000 election day, will just give them power. Ban power for 4 years. Only look at the end of 4 years. So this platform will continue to educate the people, bring in best brain and the head in our fight for the right system in Nigeria. And that way
Okay.
will be okay. Thank you,
All right.
Chinedu.
Daluso, I think somebody just came in. I think not Nkiru. Nkiru just came
Kiru,
in.
yes.
Okay. Nkiru, can you quickly, or have you been listening? You can unmute yourself. Have you been listening to what we are saying, the conversation? Before, I wouldn't want to end the program without hearing your voice, at least from the female perspective. Unmute yourself, Nkiru. Can you know Nugi? Perhaps see you.
Ebe unu na-ekwukwa n'ọkwa kịta ka m pụta fon unu nọ tee topic.
Okay, Maria, I na-ekwu maka ya.
Afọ m ebe unu.
Okay, what we are talking about regional government restructuring and na-ekwu na Abuja as it is today. So, people who are attending it, telling us what they are saying there, what their contributions are. So, get your position about
it. All my fellow viewers, depending where you are hearing my voice, I remain in Irayon Lady.
I don't
know, church. Nigeria for you. Nigeria for you.
Well, just speak briefly.
Ihe a na-ekwu na Abuja kịta ọ maka na abịa na unu n'anya o wee ebe ife chọrọ ime asị gị ọga on top iwere ọnụ okwu unu mana competition na ama mma abịa mee this regional kịta ọ bụ the best in so far. Ndị welu mmanụ ajebe na mmanụ ha ndị ewere mmanụ brain anyị bụkwa ihe anyị ji biri ka power benata na mgbago then onye na-achị gị onye ọbụla na-achị gị ịmalụ na onye na-achị gị ọ bụrụzi onye na-achị gị ọtụtụ n'ime ha na-anọchite anya bụ onye ruo ọ sị gị na ọ na-achị gị, ọ nọdụ na Abuja na-achị gị. Taị na ọ ga-eji nata ụlọ bụ elekshọn ruo, taị na ị ga-eji ma na ọ nọ bụ elekshọn ruo. Mana onye ọbụla na-achị gị, unu amago omume a na-esi n'ụlọ malụ mma wee pụba n'ezi. Ọ ga-enye aka enwee ọrụ, maka na too much labor kills. Enwe United States of America na abịa kịta agbarie ndị ọbụla division of labor, let me put it like that. Enwe ike ndị ọbụla enwe ike lụba ọrụ, ndị ọbụla enwe ike were ife dị befa. Like ịma na unu n'anya ndị a niile nwee oil, like ndị Niger Delta ebe a na-amị mmanụ, mfewa na-eti mkpu na mmiri fa na-aṅụ tata adị ọdị mma nya mmadụ ị na-anya, mana a na-amị mmanụ na befa. Dada a na-amị mmanụ a na-abụ na unu amago na unu ga-edebekwa ego, unu ga-edebe, unu ga-eji zọkwa onwe unu ma o wee ihe dapụta na mmanụ a na-amị na be unu. Ndị ọbụla enwe ike ị na-eji ivu akaụntụ ife ịchịrị ihe iji ego anyị mee. Ị na-anya na region a na-eme ihe ọfụma, kọmpetishọn adị region nke ọzọ emebekwa ka ibefa si eme. Ọ bụrụzie enwe national cake, no, ekwesịghịzi inwe national cake. Na ọ bụrụ na eme anya na ndị ọchịchị ga-ekwekwa, maka na ịma na ogbu mma ada ekwe ka mma vie n'azụ. Emebu 2014 confab edebie na ọkụ, mana eme anya na nke ọ ga-aka mgbe unu na-anya efu ife ndị gala. O nwere ndị wee resources aka emetụ ada aka, natural resources aka akpa dị ya aka anya ada anya. Mana ihe ndị Zamfara welu nke ndị ọbụla welu nke ha, onye ọbụla ji esi kene n'ụlọ malụ mma. Gbuo ọkwụsị, ihe niile adịtụ normal. Ọ bụkwa na ọ ga-adị perfect. Ụmụ anyị apụdobeja mkpa ọlụ adị egosi akwụkwọ ịmara otu unu si edevelopụ bụ unu. Ihe a bụ ezigbote welcome development. Daalụkwanụ.
All right, thank you very much. And at this time, I think we've done justice to whatever we are discussing for tonight. We've spent over 1 hour 20 minutes or thereabout. So I saw Aina Shiata's letter on this program, which we have scheduled to hold. Is it on Thursday or Friday? By tomorrow, we should be able to know. Okay, like I said earlier, if those of you who are watching, who are following this program tonight, I appreciate you, and I hope you come back again, because what we'll be talking about moving forward, but something there with a value to our people, government-wise and also economically, like our GGM cooperative, Juwebulo Kibe, Brody Destination. Everyone should be part of the destination. Everyone should take advantage of the opportunity on a present now. So that's why by moving forward, we'll start deliberating on some of the foundational problems and when I buy, apart from governance, which we can do by ourselves, while we hope for better government, but we can help ourselves through cooperative, and that is why it is very important you're gonna follow some of all our activities here. Okay, if you are not getting notification, please click on the bell. If you subscribe, click on the bell for your notifications. And sometimes your settings on your phone, adjust to your settings to no disturb and all that. Please, you may not be getting notification, and all the very important for us to build a formidable community and a society we can all call our own and be proud of. Well, at this point, I'm signing out. I want to appreciate Ndubisi and Enugu, who actually also doubles as the president of our cooperative GGM, and Henry a very bona fide, strong leader in GGM and a voice in our analytics platform. Okay, and Iron Lady Nkiru is also here. We appreciate you, all your voices and your opinion. And our guest who came in, Professor Chinedu Abodike, we appreciate him. And he has promised to bring in other people from other regions to speak on this so that we'll be able to know what they have discussed and agreed upon. Then the most important are you, the viewers out there. We appreciate you. I appreciate you and hope to have you back again on this platform. This is BVI Channel 1, where we tell you undiluted truth. Hope to have you back again. Have a wonderful night rest and stay blessed at all time. Most importantly, stay safe. Till I come back again. Bye-bye.